So your first comic coming up to the stage, very special guy. He's from Cincinnati. He runs Bombs Away Comedy. I want everybody to get really loud for the recording. You guys are on TV and shit. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Memmott.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. As Butch said, my name's Wayne. It's kind of a weird name. I don't know if any of you have ever been named Wayne before, but it sucks. It's a terrible name, especially when you're a kid, because it's so easy for bullies to make fun of you because your name rhymes with so much stuff. Like, Wayne rhymes with lame, brain, pain, insane, Haynes, cane, rain, poop stain, pee stain, jelly stain, other stains, whatever stain you want, really. This kid Butch used to make fun of me every single day. Every single day. He would say, Wayne the Pain with big poop stains in his tight white Hanes. How did he know? That's all the information I thought my mom and I knew, but now apparently somebody's selling me out to Butch. It took me till my junior year of high school to come up with, God damn it, Butch, I hate you so much, and a weak middle finger. You know, like the one your hand can't support yet. The meaning's there, but not the action. He gave me a strong wedgie and more poop stains, so. The name Wayne is an old name. If you Google it, if you look it up, it means Old English wagon maker, or whatever. I come from a long line of wagon makers. My dad's name was Wayne, and his 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 mom's name was Wayne. And then her dad's name was Wayne, and his dad's name was Wayne, and his dad's name was Wayne, and his dad's name was Jefferson. Jefferson was the poor farmer, the son of a guy named Jeffer, and the name Jeffer meant to be a poor farmer. And he did not want his son to be a poor farmer named Jefferson's sons, because that's too many sons. That's a dumbass name. So he named him Wayne, because wagons were new technology at the time. That'd be like if I named my kid today rocket scientist or something like that. But I'm not gonna raise a fucking nerd, hell no. But if I ever do have a kid, I am gonna break the Wayne curse and start a new tradition and name my first son Dr. Basketball Player. That guy's gonna be successful as shit, are you kidding me? Slam dunks and surgeries all the way to early retirement? For me, that's why I wanna have kids. If he doesn't set me up, his sister, Gold Digger Housewife, is gonna make sure that I retire well. So. Either way, the NBA is involved in my retirement plan. I'm very excited about that. I used to be a high school teacher. I used to teach high school Latin. I know, right? You know Latin? Hell yeah. One person, there's always sometimes one or two. Two? Hell yeah. I couldn't tell by your hat. If I was gonna pick one person in the room that also knew Latin, hat guy, for sure, absolutely. I used to teach high school Latin, and people would ask me, oh, what do you do when I meet them? And I'd say, oh, I'm a high school Latin teacher. They would just look at me and go, why? Why do we need that? Well, because nobody knows any Latin. But more importantly, on my end, nobody in my school knew any Latin. Not even my boss. So when the principal came to observe me, they were just making sure that I wasn't hitting kids and calling them stupid. They had no idea that I was one lesson ahead of them for 2 straight years. Oh man, it was fun being a high school Latin teacher because I got to teach some really fun words, and it's a class that doesn't really matter, so we could kind of goof off. I would come up with fun vocabulary activities to kind of waste time. So one of the first fun words that I had to teach was a Latin word for bread. It's pronounced panis, and it's spelled Panis. And I used to do this fun vocabulary activity, hand out a word to each student and have them bring in an item to represent that word to help encourage understanding. And I'm going around the room one time, and I get to this girl, and I said, "What's your word?" And she stood up real proud, and she just shouts as loud as she could, "Penis!" It's a long A. It's pronounced panis. That's okay. What'd you bring in? And she held up a baguette. I was like, "Oh, that's a long penis, right?" Oh man, that's a bread joke I should have got fired for. So. Oh man, it was fun to teach Latin. The other fun words I got to teach. It was tough to be a Latin teacher and a comedian because I can't always let the students know that I know what they were talking about. Like sometimes I had to be the adult in the room because I was paid to be the adult in the room. I couldn't always laugh at everything they said. You know, I can't encourage bad behavior. I can't always let them know that I know what they're talking about. I was teaching the Latin word de relinquo, which means to leave behind or to bequeath. And I had that word on the board. And one of the students raised her hand and said, "Mr. Memmott, what's that word?" I was like, "That word's bequeath." And they all start laughing. Everybody's laughing, but not me. I can't laugh. I can't let them know that I know that they know that that word sounds like queef. That's not on the curriculum at an all-girls Catholic high school, so. I liked teaching. I liked teaching a lot. It was tough to do without making a lot of money, but I really enjoyed teaching because I liked summers. I like summertime because it makes my favorite activity ever that much better. I love going to concerts in my free time, but summertime concerts are the best because you can get drunk in the parking lot for 4 hours before going and getting drunk inside for 4 hours. So I was out going to see Fish down at Riverbend down in Cincinnati. Boo to Fish? Leave. Oh, woo. Okay, woo. I was gonna say, I don't care. We'll end it right now. You can leave, sir. No, I was out seeing Fish at Riverbend, and we were sitting in the parking lot. We were drinking beer out of cans because it's America, and that's what we do. And this cop was doing his patrol through the lot, and he stopped at our group of guys, and he said to us, he said, "Fellas, there's an open container law in Ohio. Those beers got to be in cups." And I looked at the cop, and I was like, "We don't have any cups?" And he reaches in his little cop bag like he's goddamn Mary Poppins and pulls out a sleeve of Solo cups. Where the fuck did those come from? What? Hell yeah! You're providing solutions? Are you kidding me? So he hands us all a cup, and I'm sitting there with the beer in the cup, a little tipsy, feeling bold. I say, "Officer, with all due respect, I want to understand the law. Both of these containers are technically open. What's the difference?" And he takes them both away from me like he'd done this hundreds of times. Starts to pour the beer in the cup, stares me straight in the face and says, "Difference is the beer's got to be in a cup because I can't tell what it is. Beer's got to be in a cup." And he gives it back to me with a perfect pour. What the fuck is happening? My buddy Teddy had been taking a nap, a little weed nap in the chair next to us. Through this whole time, I told you we were going to see Fish. And he woke up at that very moment and looked up at the cop and said, "What about the pot? Does that have to be in a cup too?" The cop turned on and said, "Boy, I don't know where you're from, but if you're smoking pot out of a cup, you're doing it wrong." Ted's like, "I smoke out of a bowl." So classic Ted. Hey, here's something. Did you guys know you can feed your boogers to your dog and they're not going to tell anybody? Ever? Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that. We're trying to save the environment. Stop buying Kleenexes, adopt a dog. There's plenty of them out there. You just give it to them. You're stuck at your friend's house. You're on the couch. You got a big boogie on your nose. Their dog comes up to you. Don't put a booger stain on their couch. Just give it to the dog. Make them sit first, of course. You think I'm joking? Both of my dogs, whenever I pick my nose, will sit and put out their paws. So they fight over it. I do have some dogs. I have a couple of pups with my wife. Sorry, excuse me. I have a couple of dogs. She thinks that we have a couple of children. Fur babies, that's what she likes to call them, and we are mommy and daddy to them in public. around people. I get called daddy about dogs. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. But we have these 2 dogs, and I get a real clear vision as to what type of parent she is going to be by how she interacts with these dogs. Like, she's going to be the type of parent that makes our kids wear a helmet to soccer practice. That's not a helmet sport. The best player on a soccer team's never wearing a helmet. Ever. Not even the best player on the bench is ever wearing a helmet. They are on the bench, though, because they're the heart of the team. Because nobody had the heart to cut them. I'll tell you from personal experience. Hey, but I won state. No, she's gonna live with our kids. I'm gonna be the type of type of dad that gives our kids Chinese throwing stars at too young of an age and lets them go figure it out. Like, if I just see if you can cut down a tree with that. Like, I just imagine that our kids gonna come up to us and ask us something stupid like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, do you think I could jump from the roof of the house to the roof of the garage?" And she's gonna be like, "No. You know the family rule about jumping from stuff to stuff? Don't." Meanwhile, I'm gonna be sizing up the jump. Taking finger measurements. I don't know, Dr. Basketball Player. I don't know if you can make it from the roof of the house to the roof of the garage. Not without a cape, some goggles, and a verified YouTube account. Let's go get famous, buddy. Come on! Oh yeah! No, my wife and I are gonna be good parents because we already agree on all the stuff that matters. There's no like deal breaker things that have come up. We've had all that. But we argue about everything else. everything else. Our biggest argument is the thermostat. It's number one argument. We have one of those Nest thermostats, though. It's the one that's connected to Wi-Fi that you can connect to your phone, which is cool. The problem is you both can connect it to your phone at the same time. It doesn't matter. She's at home right now. We could roast her alive. We could just turn it up. We could treat her like a frog in a boiling pot of water and just turn it up a degree every single minute and see if she notices. She'll notice right away. She'll start calling and texting me. Fucking with it. She likes to, she'll sit in one room turning it down, I'll be in the other room turning it up, and it just looks like a game of Pong going back and forth on the thermostat, just back and forth. We did this so much that it stopped being an air conditioner, it stopped breaking, so we had to call the HVAC guy to come out. And I had to Google what the V was in HVAC. It's not vacuum, that's what I thought it was, but it's ventilation. So I called him out, and he rang the door, and I met him there. I was like, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, what's up? And he goes down, and he starts fixing the air conditioner, and I'm overseeing the whole operation. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was like the carburetor or something, and I don't know what's in there. And so he gets out, he figures it out, he gets out, he stands up and looks at me, adjusts his belt. He goes, your compressor's broken. Compressor's broken? How did I do that? He takes a beat and he goes, stop fucking with it. I was like, oh, thanks HVAC Dad. You want to teach me how to snake a drain or something like that? I don't know if that's one of those letters. It could be. She likes to keep it at 66 degrees because she is almost the devil. I like to keep it at 69 degrees. Oh yeah. Because I like to party. And 420 is too hot. It's too hot to keep my house, guys. I don't know if you know that. My house does stay lit, so. Let's see. We live in Northside in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a cool. Oh yeah, Northside is nice. It's a nice hipster neighborhood. It's nestled right outside the city. We've got a couple of record stores and a couple of taco shops. A Nepalese place. I don't know where Nepalese is, but their food's really good. And a lot of really mom and pop shops, a little burger shop. And our favorite restaurant in Northside to eat at is this international fusion place. It's right in the heart of Northside. It's wonderful. It's called the Combination KFC Taco Bell. We eat there far too often. We have shop local stickers on our car. So, I was going, it's the only place that you can go if you want to get a hard taco and dip it in some mashed potatoes and gravy at the same time. So I don't know if you've ever tried that, but you should. It'll change your life like fries in a Frosty. This guy knows about it. He was there when I invented it. And I was at KFC Taco Bell and I was getting an order for us. It was our favorite order. It's 2 big box meals. Comes with 3 tenders, a little thing of mashed potatoes and gravy, a biscuit, and a weird cookie we always throw out. I don't know if you've been to a KFC Taco Bell, but there's no ovens in there. I don't know how you're making cookies. I don't trust it. So I throw it away. And then we got 2 Diet Pepsis because we're watching our weight. And I pull up to the drive-thru, and I go to the window, and Rhonda's working at the window. And I know Rhonda, I've been there plenty of times. And I usually have a conversation with Rhonda, and so I pull up, and I'm like, hey, Rhonda, but it must have been a busy day, because she comes right to the window and goes, Diet Pepsi's coming out all funny. You want something else? Oh, yeah. Quickly, I'll have anything you got that's diet. She goes, we got Sierra Mist. You know that if it's clear and looks like water, that does not mean that it is water and diet, right? She didn't look like she knew this. She looked like someone that not only worked at a KFC Taco Bell, but she kind of lived at a KFC Taco Bell. You know, like she had to wipe off her Juggalo makeup in the women's bathroom. Men's bathroom's closed because that's where her cot is. So I don't want anything to drink, so I'm like, nah, I don't need anything to drink. And then I don't know where the thought came from, but I said, do you think I could get some extra mashed potatoes and gravy? And she thought about it for a second. She goes, I got you, boo, and gives me a wink. And she turns around and comes to the window with 2 big box meals and goes, hold on. She turns back around and comes back to the window with not 1, not 2, but 4 quart containers of mashed potatoes and gravy from a KFC Taco Bell. Quart, that's the family size, and I got enough to feed 4 families. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know if you guys know what the term hood rich is. That's when you got a lot of something that doesn't matter. And boy, I was king potato that night, just cruising the streets, looking for queen gravy. That's what I call my wife. She hates it. Get over here and smother me, queen gravy. So I'm pulling out of the KFC Taco Bell, and I'm driving home, and I'm like, man, I should turn around and try that again. Like, let's see, can we get 4 more? How many more times can I do this before Rhonda notices? Can I sell mashed potatoes and gravy on Facebook Marketplace, or is that more of a Craigslist thing? Like, can you freeze them? How do you ship them? I'm trying to run through how to turn this into a business, and I get home, and I'm bringing in the meal, and I come and I'm like, baby, our lives have changed forever. And I start unpacking our celebratory feast onto the counter, and I stack 1 quart container on top of the other one next to it, so they're 2 and 2. And they are right next to a large Diet Pepsi cup from a previous visit. And that's when it dawns on me, because they are the exact same height. So what Rhonda wanted to do was fill a Diet Pepsi cup with mashed potatoes and gravy and send me on my way, but she knew that that wasn't a corporate approved container, so she just filled up the biggest containers until it was the same size, doubled it, and sent me on for the best day of my life. But I'm here to tell you that if there's anything that's the opposite of 2 Diet Pepsis from KFC Taco Bell, it's definitely 4 quart containers of mashed potatoes and gravy from a KFC Taco Bell. That shit is thick through a straw, so. I love grandmas. I like grandmas a lot. They're just the best people ever. I like my grandma a lot specifically. Her name's Wheezy. It's short for Louise. Wheezy and I got a lot in common. We both have really big dreams. I want to be a famous stand-up comedian one day, and she wants to be a contestant on The Price is Right, or Wheel of Fortune, but Jeopardy's too hard. The only difference is my dream's a little bit more attainable. I'm here performing in front of y'all tonight, having a great time. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great. So I'm here trying to get better. I'm gonna become famous after this. She's never been to LA before, and I'm still alive. Do not pull away from me, folks. Do not get sad. You don't have to be sad. God already said, come on down, Wheezy. Ooh, come on up, Wheezy. Come on up. You're the next contestant on Eternity, Wheezy. Spin the big wheel in the sky, Wheezy. Get to the showcase showdown. Pass on the first showcase. It's hell. Literally, it's hell. I don't care if there's a Sea-Doo, Wheezy. You're gonna be riding that thing on the river Styx. Pass, get to the second showcase. Get that Ashley furniture set. You want that. It's good for your back while you rest for eternity. R.I.P. Wheezy. Wheezy and I also, she used to sit with me. I'd hang out with Wheezy all the time. And I was obsessed with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. So she would sit with me and watch all the games with me, which is great. And then she would take me out trick-or-treating. And for 5 years straight, I dressed like Michael Jordan. And so I put on some like Jordan shoes and some red shorts and a Bulls jersey. And I put in some fake earrings and I'd shave my head and go out looking like a little white Michael Jordan. And she would take me out dressed like his teammate Dennis Rodman. Different color hair every single year. And so I did that for a bunch of years. And so this past Halloween, I wanted to dress like Michael Jordan to pay tribute to Weezy, but I wanted to dress like modern day Michael Jordan. So I put on some penny loafers and some slacks and a white Hanes t-shirt and tucked it in. Still put in the earrings and I shaved my head. And Michael Jordan has a mustache now too. It's technically called like a two-finger mustache. You might know it better as a Hitler mustache, worn by Adolf Hitler, Michael Jordan, and now Wayne Memmott. I did not look like Michael Jordan at all. Not even a little bit. I looked like a racist Mr. Clean. I was bummed because I won 3rd place at the costume contest as racist Mr. Clean. And I was talking to my buddy, I was like, man, I wish I looked like Michael Jordan. He's like, you should have painted your face all brown. You would have looked more like Michael Jordan. No. I would have looked like a really racist Mr. Clean. Are you kidding me? It's blackface. I'm not getting tricked into that again. I did spend a lot of time with Wheezy. I spent a lot of time with Wheezy because my mom was always working, my dad wasn't around. But my dad tried to teach me like one lesson. I only know one lesson up in my brain that my dad taught me. We were sitting in his Chevy Lumina, we were driving, and he had a Milwaukee's Best between his legs. And I'll never forget it. He takes a drink and puts it back, and he puts his hand back on the wheel. And he looks down and he says, Wayne, you know, beer bellies are called that because when they get big enough, they can hide a can of beer in between your legs when a cop pulls you over. So, get fat and drive drunk, Dad. All right, cool, thanks. It was the 90s. Good dad. He did try to do the baseball thing. Dads are always supposed to kind of instill a love of baseball in children. I think I don't know. He tried once. He tried to take me to my first baseball game when I was like 8 years old. And we're from Cincinnati, so we were going to play the Reds. And I was very, very excited about going to this baseball game. Not for baseball. I didn't care about baseball. I was excited about snacks and stuff. You know, like when you go somewhere as a kid and you just want to get something to eat and something to play with, and it doesn't matter where you are, you're happy. That's all I wanted. I was excited for snacks and stuff. So we were going to the game. We got there early, like 30 minutes early. Our seats were up in the very top of the stadium. It was a Tuesday night. We could have moved to like baseline, but these were our seats and we were staying here. So we sat down in our seats and we sat in silence for like 15 minutes, like every good father-son outing begins. We looked forward, and the only thing that we had in common at the time is we were both watching the clock change. Like, that was it. And after 15 minutes, he looked down at me, he's like, you want to go get something to eat? Yeah, that's half the reason I'm here. Let's go, Dad. So we go down to the concession stand, and there it is. The whole reason I'm here. One of those little plastic Reds helmets filled with ice cream and whipped cream and chocolate sauce and nuts and a cherry on top. This is it. This is both snacks and stuff. I get to eat it and take it home. I like baseball. Good job, Dad. He also got his 2 favorite things, 2 big beers. 32 ounces, both of them together, 64 ounces. That's a gallon. He drove, I was 8. So, it was the 90s. So we went back up to our seats. We sit down. There's no one around us. I'm eating my ice cream, he's drinking his beer, and right before the game started, these 2 guys came and sat almost right in front of us, and they're wearing Pittsburgh Pirates jerseys, so I already hate them. Yeah, boo, right? It's okay. So we all stand up for the national anthem, and everybody sits back down except for these 2 guys. They stay standing during the baseball game, and they let everybody know that can hear them that they're all fucking pussies for not standing for the whole fucking game. My dad and I were the only ones that could hear them. They were talking definitely to us. But I also think this was their first baseball game because not even baseball players stand for the whole fucking game. They sit for half of it watching in the dugout like the rest of us wish we were. So My dad stood up, tapped one on the shoulder, and said, "Hey, can you watch your language? I got my son here for his first baseball game." And I stood up, and I said, "Yeah, you stupid heads. Got your back, Dad." And then one of them turned to my dad and looked at me and then looked at my dad and said, "You need to tell your retarded son to shut the hell up." Which is harsh, even in the 90s. But to be fair, I had finished my ice cream helmet, and the helmet was now on top of my head. And all of the ice cream was dripping down my face, and I was trying to lick it off before it hit my chin. You stupid heads! So I guess if the shoe fits, or the helmet doesn't fit, or whatever the case is here. So my dad and I sat back down stunned. My dad had one beer left. He sat there, he kind of looked at it. He handed it to me. He said, "Don't ever do what I'm gonna do." And he stands up, and he reaches around these two guys' heads, and he slams them together. And they fall to the ground unconscious. He grabs a beer from me, chugs it, grabs my wrist, and says, "We gotta go." And that was my first baseball game. We left before the first inning was over, so. Thank you all so very much. I'm Wayne Memmott. You're a fantastic audience. I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you. We're gonna get Butch back out here, so yeah.
Wait a minute, everybody! Keep it going! Also, just a quick reminder, keep the table talk down to a minimum or zero. That